want to say first, I want to thank Bishop Judy Rivers and her special guest, Brother Fred, that was on the air with her from Haiti. And what a good presentation it was. I hope you were listening and took down that information because it's so important if we can help others that are standing in the need, especially children and all that are around the world. There's things going on. You may be saying a lot of things are going on with me. I don't have the money. I need to get this paid. It's just not going. But if God has blessed you to even have a few dollars, I'm sure out of that you can spare $1 or $2 to help someone else other than yourself. That's right. So we thank God for that presentation by Bishop Judy and Brother Fred. At this time, we're getting ready for the second half, and I want to introduce my guest that's currently online right now waiting, and they're going to be going forth in a minute as I just introduced to you all. Boley, it says, what was it? Boley, what?
Youth
Employment. Yeah, Boley Youth Employment. We have two special guests that's getting ready to come forth, Brother Frank as well as Sister Shalonda. And I'm going to have them come in at this time. And I think we're going to start with Sister Shalonda first. I'm going to have her introduce herself, and she's going to start her presentation, followed by Brother Frank, in that order. So let's get started, because you're in for a blessing today to know how you can help these children that are in the Tampa Bay area and what this program also provides for the youth. So at this time, Sister Shalonda, are you there? Uh, well, good afternoon. So good to hear your voice today. And if you would be so kind to start off with giving us your name, and then just you can go ahead and start telling us about this wonderful organization of what you are doing right now in this community for our youth.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here. We are a part of an organization that has been in this community for quite some time. Boley is actually celebrating 50 years in this community.
60?
They're 50.
50.
Yes,
Wonderful.
Yes.
I just wanted to
50
get
years
that
is
corrected. 50 years. All righty.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. They are normally known for treatment, rehab, and employment services for those in recovery, and they assist families in the community as well as veterans and homeless. And so they also have a youth department, which myself and Mr. Terrell have a pleasure of being a part of. You don't actually have to be a Boley client to participate in this program, and I always like to say that it's more than a summer program.
Yes.
We have a lot of benefits and services that we offer in this community.
Mm-hmm.
We have different programs, and one is funded by the Juvenile Welfare Board, and the other one by the city of St. Pete. And both programs provide employment opportunities for youth ages 15 to 21 who reside in the Pinellas County area and enrolled in Pinellas County schools. So during the school year, program participants work up to 15 hours each week and up to 20 hours in the summer. So what I have the pleasure of doing is my role is a family support coordinator. And Mr. Frank actually is the youth employment consultant for the St. Pete team. We actually have 5 teams in the Pinellas County area. There's Clearwater, Largo, Lillman, St. Pete, and Tarpon. And so Mr. Frank and I happen to serve as a role on the St. Pete team. And so as a family support coordinator, my job is to offer family support. And so I provide and share community resources per request or as needed. I send a lot of emails and texts to share different things that I hear about in the community. For example, like there's a lot of holiday and charity events going on in the community, a lot of food drives and feeding programs.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Free resources around COVID and those things. So because we are connected in the community, we get a lot of those notices, and we're able to share that with our families. And the intern that is enrolled in the program, we also offer educational guidance, so coaching and mentoring, valuable work experience like several workshops and other opportunities. For example, workshops that may include information about resumes and how to update your resume, tutoring services. We help with transcripts and scrubs and graduation requirements to make sure our interns are going to graduate on time. We offer scholarship opportunities, and we share that information with them. We also work a lot with the counselors in the schools and monitor grades, because you actually have to have a 2.0 GPA, and I'll go over the actual criteria in just a little bit. But we offer incentives for good grades. We get report cards, and every quarter or every grading period, the incentives are rewarded to interns that have higher GPAs, unexcused absences in school, and like low unexcused absences. If they do special projects in school, if they get a job and they're on their job for a number of days or a number of months, they get incentives. And volunteer hours. Volunteerism is mandatory for our program. And so we connect with a lot of volunteer agencies in our community. And I think Mr. Frank is going to go over that a little bit in just a little bit. And we also do work readiness training. And what that is that's our version of a real-life experience for the interns, because we know that when we get them in the program at ages 15 and 16, they don't have any work experience. So it's what we like to call our probationary period, and it's required 4 to 6 weeks of training. They get $10 per hour for 4 hours of online training or volunteer hours in the field per week. So when they come online, they learn things like work, school, and life balance, goal setting, employability skills, adulting, financial literacy, work etiquette, and the list goes on. So we spend a lot of time working with them to actually get those work values and morals and etiquette in place and those skills in place before they actually go on job sites.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You're getting them all equipped to go forth. Okay, so that's good.
They're getting paid. They get paid to do that portion.
Yes,
so
yes. And you said, Shalonda, did you say that it was $10 per hour? Is that right?
$10 an hour.
Yes, right. Okay, good.
Being that the minimum wage went up this month, we are able to offer them $10 an hour.
Oh, that's great.
So we actually right now, to begin the admissions process, people can contact me. I'll go over what it takes to actually be involved in this program. But I can be reached directly on my cell phone at 727-430-7836. And we're actually taking a few youth for the fall, but our main recruitment begins in the spring. And actually the people in the spring roll right into our summer program, which is from June to August. But we do have a couple of slots now. In order to be a part of the program, you have to submit an application online. And you can actually go online at the BoleyCenters.org and click on the Youth Employment Program. And you have to be actively enrolled in a Pinellas County high school with at least a minimum 2.0 GPA. There are some income and residential requirements that you have to meet. You actually have to pass a local background check. You have to complete the intake, like do a face-to-face interview, and in some cases a phone interview to follow COVID protocol. And so you have to participate in the job selection process, meaning that we will help you, we will walk alongside you, but you do have to go through the steps of hiring, doing the interview with the employer to get the job. So I think that's most of my role as a family support coordinator.
Well, thank you, Shalonda. Before we move on to Mr. Frank, I have one retired teacher in the studio with me today, and then one who is still a current teacher. I just want to see if they have any question they want to ask you before we move on to Frank. Sarah, do you have a question or anything that got your attention that you want to ask Shalonda?
You know what? As she was expounding upon the program, I really thought it was very helpful because many of our youth need things that they don't have the skills as far as it goes with how to seek employment, and it also provide them with enough experience in seeking a job that they will understand. So I'm really very much interested in the program because it seemed like something that many of our youth, especially here in Pinellas County schools, could really, really use. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, I got about 7 names I can think about that I would really like to tell what you have expounded upon in order that they may take and participate in your program that you have now. So I want to say I really think that this will be an advantage and a very valuable service if those participants and children or students would take advantage of this. It would really support them and help them in the future, in the long haul as well.
And I want to also add to that, this is Donald Jackson. I am currently a middle school teacher, but I've also taught high school in the past, and I have encountered a number of our students, our special needs children, ESC and so on. And definitely, and I've seen a lot of our students gainfully employed in a number of agencies, having gone through some of the programs, and I'm aware of some of them also have been through the Boley program, and I think it's an excellent program, to train, and that's the important part, to train and get them ready. And sometimes, and I started a program here at the radio station with our youth explosion.
Yes.
And when we started it, we were focusing mainly on students who had an IEP, because these are the kids who have been told so many times that you can't do it, you can't do this. You were inside the student this morning, and my son Dominic is one of those students. And Dominic is able to come to the radio station on his own, set himself up on his own and do a broadcast.
All right.
From that type of training that we're doing, the Youth Explosion, to say, kids, you can do anything that you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it, because you are as good as the other student over there in the regular education program. And so I'm happy for Boley, because Boley is doing a wonderful, I'm aware of Boley's program for a long, long time. They're doing an excellent work right in Pinellas County schools.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Donald Jackson and Miss Sarah Rich. All righty. Thank you. And Shalonda, we're going to go ahead and hear from Mr. Frank Terrell. So, Frank, if you're on the line, come forth.
Yes.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. How are you this morning?
Great.
On the panel.
Good
afternoon, rather.
Doing great, Frank. We're so glad to have you and Shalonda on today. So, what would you like to share with us about the Boley Youth Foundation?
Well, let me first say to your panelists that we acknowledge what they're saying. Boley is a great program. As a former teacher myself, Mr. Jackson pointed out how difficult it is to convince a young man or young lady to go out there and present themselves for employment, and that's what we do here at Boley. And I'm glad to be part of this program because it is effective, and I think we're changing lives. Listening to Ms. Shalonda, she's presented to you a very good description and policy and procedure on how the Boley program works. Me, on the other hand, I have probably the most fun part of this job, working for this organization, and that is the job placement. Once a student has been cleared by Ms. Shalonda, and she sends that person to me and says that they're ready to go to work, me as the youth employment counselor, I work hand in hand with employers and the youth to ensure a successful work relationship. Now, we know that it's not easy to place a young person who's having their first job on a position and then walk away. No, it doesn't happen that way. We have partnerships in several industries, and then it's our responsibility to walk hand in hand with the employer and the student to make sure that that relationship works. Just to give you an idea of what sort of positions that we are trying to steer our young people to, we have partnerships in child care, culinary arts, retail, technical, administration, logistics, and accounting, And we've been trying to expand on what we offer our kids a lot here lately. Most recently, we've added theater and movie production to our list of community partnerships. The traditional positions, fast food, so on, yes, they're still there. However, we want to get our students to reach a little further than what they're used to or what their friends are doing. There are a multitude of talents that are untapped in our youth. We all know that. Every now and then we get one who squeaks through and makes a name for himself and does things we didn't think they were capable of doing. But we want to accelerate that process a little bit. Now, as we go to our employers out there, some employers are like, yeah, well, we might be interested in so on. But we have to entice our employers. And our employers being our community businesses, our local businesses. As Ms. Shalonda pointed out, the businesses that are in the St. Pete area. Now, my job is to hit the streets. I knock on doors. I interrupt people when they're doing their businesses. Can you help our kids? Do you have the patience and the resources to allow a young person to come in and learn from what you're doing here? So what do we offer them? Well, we offer local businesses the opportunity for our youth. We need their support. So what are we going to make it so it's just as productive and fruitful for them? As a business partner, you can expect that we're going to send you an eager young person who is willing and ready to work. Boley, as an organization, will pay $4 of the hourly salary for that intern. And as well, we will pay workers' compensation and all payroll taxes. So this is a win-win situation for an employer.
It sure is.
No reason.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
No reason other than not being able to get on board for an employer not to say this is a good thing and I'm contributing to my community. So, youth employment counselor, which is what I am, we also provide ongoing support with the youth and the employer. No, we don't drop a student into a position and walk away and hope it's going to work. No, it's my job to continuously monitor, stay in touch, and cultivate that relationship so that is a successful marriage in terms of employer and employee. And a lot of people are surprised that when a young person gets comfortable and gets a grip on that position, he really knows how to take off on it. If anything, I sometimes find that they get so comfortable that they're ready to move on to something else.
And Frank, what is the ages for the children? I know you mentioned that one time to me before, but what is the ages of the students that you're assisting now?
Yeah, the students that we primarily focus on are 15, 16-year-old high school students. That is our primary area. But we provide employment opportunities for youth ages 15 to 21, as Ms. Shalonda pointed out.
Okay, 15 to 21. Gotcha.
Right. As my focus as YEC deals with high school students primarily, 15 to 16 are our prime candidates and prime ages that we like to bring on board and cultivate to the fullest extent of what we have to offer in the program. I would also harken back to what Ms. Shalonda said about volunteerism. Volunteerism is an essential part of the program because it gives the student an opportunity to give before he receives. And it's part of the process. And I don't think that you can really, really appreciate something until you've given something to it. Yes. And so another part of my job is to cultivate and recruit opportunities for our young people to volunteer. So we continuously recruit organizations and businesses to provide volunteer opportunities as well as employment opportunities. So if you're a business, if you're out there, you're listening, If your organization or business would like to participate in either facet of the Youth Employment Program, please contact Ms. Samuels or myself, Frank Terrell, and join us in our efforts. Our ability to recruit employers in diverse fields is a key point in our career options for our youth. And when I say that, we believe offering job opportunities and the jobs of the future is not only logical, but enticing to our forward-thinking young people. For example, we've moved to recruit in the automotive industry with a focus on electric vehicles, where a huge shortage of technicians and repair these vehicles in a new growing industry is very short. We also have career options for youth interested in the arts and theater. We have successfully recruited volunteer and job opportunities in both of these industries. So our mission is to focus on non-traditional youth employment options while maintaining traditional positions such as fast food and so on. There are kids who still are interested in that. And those jobs are our focus as well. However, we are certainly focused on what our kids are going to need to know in the future. So our mission, once again, is to provide opportunities that are not probably fully realized yet. To do this, we need community organizations and businesses to join us again. Whatever your business, we want you to help us to flood our youth with career options. And finally, thanks to the support of our funders, community partners, in 2020, 385 youth were served through our youth employment programs, including 198 youth who were placed in employment and 74 who obtained permanent placement.
All right. That is amazing, and that is great to hear, Frank. That is excellent.
Yes, and we're proud to be a part of all of that. And there's one last stat that I think is very, very helpful, is that of the 68 seniors who participated in the program, 63 graduated from high school.
All right.
All right.
So,
all right.
I love that.
So, yes. So that is something that we're proud of. It's something that encourages us to keep doing what we're doing. And I'd just like to acknowledge some of our community partners who may be listening: Jimmy John's, Dream Makers Productions, JC Automotive, Berg Sports Bar, World's Most Reliable Movers, and all the local high schools that welcome us and give us access to our youth.
Well, praise
Thank you very much.
Praise God, Frank and Shalonda. Well, since I have two teachers in the studio with me today, the program manager, Donald Jackson, as well as Sister Sarah Rich, who's a retired teacher, I'm going to have closing comments by them because they can relate all the way by teaching these students and what they went through to get them from point A to point B, and all the way to Z. Okay. So, Donald Jackson, closing remarks for them if you have any question or comment.
Yes, thank you so much, Princess. And I'm so excited to listen to the two folks. They're talking about what wonderful things and work that Boley is doing for the youngsters in our community in Pinellas County. As a school teacher, I'm a science teacher. And I have taught, in fact, I'm always excited to have ESE students in my class because, and I'm going to say this, when it comes down, I find that my ESE students behave the best in my class than the regular kids. And these are kids who want to learn, but of course they have a disability, but they don't allow that disability to stop them.
Yes.
You know, and so I'm excited to teach these kids. They're the ones that, they come to class ready to learn, and you want to help them in whichever ways you can. And so, and I see that they have, a future, a promising future because they're working towards getting their education where they would like to be. And so, having an agency like Boley in our community who is providing training and, preparation for the workplace, it's an excellent thing. And so I really commend you folks for what you are doing for our kids, because they need you. And thank you so much for doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Donald. Sarah, we got about 2 minutes before we close out.
Okay. I was listening to you, and you said it's from the ages of 15 all the way up to 21. Am I correct? What I was thinking about is what a beautiful thing it is, because I know that the average graduation year for a student is at 18, and sometimes it goes to 19. But when I was working in Pinellas County schools, I worked in the ESE department, and I worked with a lot of kids that had graduated from high school, but they were in a transitional program too, to learn skills as far as it goes for employment or things that a trade that they could use can do with success. And as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking to myself, what an awesome program that you have, and how blessed many of the kids are who will get an opportunity to learn what it is to, what you say, give as well as to receive, because they have to put in the volunteer hours, and then also too they are able to get wages for what they're learning at the same time. So what I want to say is the program sounds to be an excellent program. I'm hoping and praying that we get more than 390 students to be able to go into Boley, and that Boley could get more funding that he can bring and generate more students to come along. And also too, many of the businesses that are in the community, I would really recommend them taking the opportunity to work with Boley and become a partner, and become a partner that rides alongside to help our youth, to bring them into the field they're in. So I thank you for the program that you're doing now.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Well, I want to thank Mr. Frank Terrell and Shalonda today for this presentation, and it's been a blessing, and I'm just so glad that once we get this video taped and get you a copy of it so you can listen to it yourself, and truly share it with others that you're trying to reach out to, so they can know exactly what you're doing and not have to wait to figure out, well, what's the program about? Okay, so I'll get back. So I will get with you all in a couple of days and make sure there's something I need to request from you. I forgot to get a photo from both of you, so to put in this video, since you're not in the studio, so I'm gonna get with you on that. so then and then I'll post the video. So with that being said, thank you so much. We're running out of time, and I just want to thank everyone that is listening locally, national, and all the way streaming into Jamaica. So what a blessing it is today, and truly. Now, you have your child calling them, and I'll put that information in the video so other people know how to contact you. So with that being said, have a blessed day and a great weekend in the name of Jesus.